Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of My Line Purpose, the podcast. I wanted to try doing a video version of the podcast and kind of just see how it goes. For me, when I'm recording, typically I don't do video, and this allows me to be able to pause and gather my thoughts when I'm wanting to say something and edit that out of the audio recording. And so while I'll probably still do that for the audio version, I'm going to just keep it straight. There will be my ums and ands and pauses and that sort of thing here in the video recording. And I also just want to be able to share this information more widely. So I'm going to be distributing this video on YouTube and other places where we can upload video content, and then the audio will still be delivered across all major platforms that we deliver our podcast on each and every week. So, as you can see, I'm back home in my home office, and I'm really excited to be back home. I feel so grateful. I was just able to be away the past 10 days. I went on a very last minute trip to Mexico with my sister, Christine. And while Christine and I have been all over the place together, we've been all over Thailand together, we've been to Dominican together, we've been to Cuba together, in many different places in Canada, across the US. We went to Ellen. This was our first time actually going away, just the two of us, which is crazy. It was everybody that knows me is like, really? You and your sister have never went away, just the two of you, because we're so close. But yeah, it was really awesome. It was actually fucking epic, if I'm being honest, how it all happened and how it unfolded so quickly. So I made my vision board after the new year started. I made my vision board. So if I went to my sister's on Wednesday, the 18th, I made it the Friday before. So the Friday, the 13th is when I made my vision board. I texted Kayla around noon on Friday, the 13th, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this afternoon is make my vision board. I really want to get clear on how I want 2023 or the unforeseen future to look like. And she was like, great idea. I'm going to make mine too. So I put on a great playlist and I logged into Canva and Pinterest. And if you're curious about how I made my vision board, let me know. Send a message after this. Maybe we can talk about us doing a workshop in My Line Purpose about how I made my vision board and how it works for me. And it works really quick. So I made my vision board. And the vacations or the trips that I knew that I had planned for this year, I actually didn't put on the vision board because I was like, well, I know it's happening. I know that I'm going to Taylor Swift. I know that I'm going to a wedding in Portland. I know that I'm taking a few trips down to the States for various different reasons. And then I'm just not sure of what other vacations are on the horizon for 2023. I had a really big 2022. I did a couple trips to warmer places. I went to Mexico in 2022. I went to Italy. I went to Portugal. I went to France. And so I just don't know what 2023 holds in terms of warmer destinations. But I did select two images to put on my vision board. One of them was Mexico and one of them was Costa Rica. And without knowing any how or any when, I just knew when I selected those images how it would feel to be in the sun, to be in the warmth, to be on the beach. So I was like, fuck it, I'm putting it on here. I don't know how it's going to happen, whatever. I kid you not. In less than 24 hours, my sister and I are on the phone together. She's like, I really want sun. I'm saying, I really want sun. We're both like, well, we can work from anywhere because we both have our own businesses. And yeah, it was just like this aha moment, this light bulb went off for me where I realized this is the life that I've always wanted. This is the life I wanted to create. And it wasn't available to me when I was teaching. I couldn't just go oh, I think I want to go work in Mexico for the week. That wasn't available to me. So when my sister and I were like, well, should we just go? We booked it that morning and we left 4 days later. And so, yeah, I'm sharing all of this to share that vision boarding works. I am still being a master manifester, and this is going to be really great for all of you to hear because I'm inviting you into a 5-day, week-long master your magnetism. We're going to learn how to magnetize anything and everything we want in our life: people, places, experiences, things. Kayla and I will be hosting this 5-day workshop later on in February. All of the dates are going to be here in the show notes. So you just want to make sure that you are following along on our Instagram. We're going to have lots of fun stuff, of course, some giveaways. And I'm going to share from a scientific lens. And I was thinking about it this morning, actually, how I'm going to use a tube of toothpaste. This is like how my brain works. I was like, I'm going to bring a tube of toothpaste to this training to demonstrate to you the science of using your cerebral spinal fluid to manifest whatever you want. And if you're like, what does that even mean? Just come. I can't wait to share everything that I know. And so with that being said, today's topic for TGIM, for the podcast, is gatekeeping. So what is gatekeeping? Where is it happening? Why is it happening? How can we stop it? This is a conversation that I want to bring to the forefront. So gatekeeping is essentially when someone, like an individual or a company or a business, has information that, or knowledge that would be useful for other people to have, but they withhold it on their own. It's literally the opposite of my belief that knowledge is power. And I believe so much in women, especially women, young women, having knowledge of how to control and amplify their mindset, how to control and amplify their finances, how to control and amplify their own self-worth and self-love and confidence. And so having the knowledge to be able to do that provides power. And power doesn't have to mean like a power dynamic. It means like self-power, like how we can use this to move forward and grow and expand and take people with us. Like oftentimes you'll hear us say in My Aligned Purpose that link arms with us, let us link arms with you so that we can show you the way. And that would go against the idea of what is really common, in my opinion, in the coaching industry. So the coaching mentorship industry, where I see, and when I say I see this, I mean like my favorite thing to do inside of My Aligned Purpose, and I've talked about this before, outside of like teaching everybody how to like manifest to be master attractors, is I'm huge on research and development. So R&D is a big like arm of what I provide to our company. I am always looking at what is trending, what is up and coming, what's cutting edge, what are other people doing, what's falling off the wayside, what's old school, like what's not okay, what's not okay. Like this is what I do for fun anyway. And so I bring it to our company so I can say, okay, this is like what is happening in marketing in 2023. This is how to launch effectively if you're an online business. Like these are trends and things that I research and look up. And what I notice is that there's a lot of gatekeeping in the traditional online business space, in the service-based industry, for those people out there that identify or work with online service providers, mainly coaches and mentors. And so what gatekeeping can look like in this particular industry would be that, say, for example, I, as a coach and mentor, know exactly how a funnel, and funnel can be described and defined in so many ways, but say I can see how a funnel works exactly from Instagram to a linked offer onto your email subscriber list, onto a low paid offer onto your website, onto a mid-range offer that you sell, into a high-range offer mastermind. So say that I have surrounded myself with people who have implemented funnels in this way. And then Kayla and I decide that this is what we're going to do for our business, and we're going to implement a funnel this way. And then we tell people to come work with us in Align Business School, and then eventually in Platinum, because that's our funnel, Align Business School and Platinum. And we know how to make that work, but then we don't share any of that information. So if somebody asks us a question about funnels, we either deny that we don't know how to do it, we'd lie and say that we don't use it, or we would give false information. And if you're thinking like, why would anybody do that? I'm right there with you. Why do people do this? And I see it all the time where people are so extremely disappointed in working with a coach or a mentor because the coach or the mentor actually said that they know how to do something that they don't. And so actually, it's like they're gatekeeping what they don't know. They're trying to put on this personification. Like there are people out there, this is mind blowing, that are calling themselves mentors or business coaches. And you know, people have worked with them or people are not working with them because they know them from other facets or avenues of life. And they're like, you don't have a business, or you don't have a successful business, or your business doesn't make money, or you've had a business for 1 month. Like, we can't say if you've had like one $10,000 month, you can't. It's not that you can't, but I wouldn't advise going out and saying like, now work with me if you want to have $10,000 months. I would want to know that somebody has had consistent $10,000 months, that then therefore they're taking that experience, that trial and error, everything that they've learned and unlearned to know, how do you make $10,000 a month consistently? Because one $10,000 month over the course of the year is very different than multiple $10,000 months over the course of the year. One is generating a 5-figure income, and one is generating multiple 6 or 7-figure income. Do you see how different that is? So when we talk about the coaching industry and we talk about, or we're looking at people that are gatekeeping, what is happening is that coaches are saying that if you don't work with them, then you're not going to learn how to XYZ, as if they're the only person that has that information. So they might be the only person that has their way of doing it. For example, we have the aligned launch process. It works. It's ours. We've created it. We have ownership over it. And we could say that nobody else has the aligned launch process. That's true. That's a fact. It's ours. If they did, they stole it. But we can't say that if you go work with another coach or mentor that you'll never learn how to launch, because we don't know what other coaches or mentors are doing or not doing. We know what we're doing. And wouldn't I want everybody who came to work with us in My Line Purpose to want to learn how to grow their business? Because if people walked away and we didn't give them the tools to grow their business, and we said, you'll grow a business if you work with us, and your results are, based off of what you do, then we'd be kicking ourselves in the ass. People would be walking away from our programs and being like, oh, they told me that I was going to learn how to make a funnel. They told me that I was going to learn how to launch. They told me that I was going to know how to create an offer. They told me that I was going to know how to sell online. If we say those things, or you're saying those things, you've got to be able to provide it. And you want your clients to have results, great results. And this is another thing. Everybody is responsible for their own results. So I want to just backtrack for a moment here and also add this in. From a client perspective, so not from a business owner perspective, but from a client perspective, in my own coaching program that Kayla and I are in together, we're in it as a business partnership, and we've been in it for almost 2 years. Our 2 years is complete in June. So we've been in it for a good amount of time now, like 20 months or something. And our coach does not gatekeep at all. Knowledge is power in her mind. Fabienne Fredrickson, if you want to know who our coach is. And this is another thing. People don't say who their coaches are. And it's like, WTF? Like, if you like who you work with and you're not sharing that because you're afraid people are going to work with them instead of you, like, you don't understand the concept of karma. Like, you're gatekeeping. That's what you're doing. So Fabienne is so incredible at sharing everything she knows. She does not gatekeep. She's like, you want to know something? Bring it to Q&A and ask. You want to learn how something works? Implement it and try it in your business. At the end of the day, I'm still responsible for my results. So I can go to every Q&A that she offers. I can go to every masterclass that she provides, every call. I can show up to every single one. But if I walk away And I still keep doing the same old thing. And I don't grow my business, and I don't ask for a sale, and I don't do lead generation, and I'm not marketing within my business, and I'm not out making and meeting new clients. And if I don't have any retention plan, if I don't have an email list, if there is no way to nurture and grow our audience, that's, guess whose responsibility that is? It's ours. It's not Fabienne's. So if I walked away from my coaching program with her and was like, oh man, I'm still exactly where I was 2 years ago. Like I'm not making the income that she says. You want to go from 6 to 7 figures in 2 years. Here's how you do it. If we walked away and said, oh, we didn't make 7 figures, it's all her fault. That is not it. That's not the truth. It would be our fault because we are responsible for our results. Now, we would be at a disadvantage if she gate kept. If she said, you want to go from 6 to 7 figures with more ease and have your life back. And she said, I'll tell you everything I know, but then we go to Q&A and we ask a question and she's like, oh, you got to figure that one out on your own. Well, that would suck. And people wouldn't go back to work with her. So in our own business as coaches, what we want to do is we want to say, you're responsible for your results. That is 100% true. That is fact. You are responsible. So if you work with us and you don't ever make one sale within your business, that is not our responsibility. That is your responsibility. That is the people who we work with. It is their responsibility to go out, to have lead generation, which we provide, to launch something, which we provide, to have a funnel so that you have a client journey, which we provide, to have a nurturing sequence, which we provide. We provide everything, but you, the client, and just the same as I'm also a client to somebody, have to go out and take action on this. And then what happens is there's two sides to this. If we were gatekeeping, if we were holding information, our clients would not get great results. And then therefore our business would come to a halt because nobody would say, go work with My Aligned Purpose. Fortunately for us, our clients that do the work, which like now that we're 3 years into this and we see people who have been with us for 3 years, people who've been with us for 2 years, the people who are stepping up in year one already taking massive action, those people support the next group of curious people about My Aligned Purpose to want to work with us because their results are proof that we're not gatekeeping anything. They're like, oh yeah, we're going out and doing this event stack because you told us exactly how to do it. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to launch a podcast. Oh yeah, I'm going to become a best-selling author because you didn't keep any secrets. Knowledge is power, my friends. And we want you to go out. We want more women to make money. Like there are so many women out there who are trapped in relationships, who are trapped in jobs, who are trapped like in this hamster wheel of wanting to be a better mom and provide for your family, or to be able to work from where you want, or to get out of your marriage, whatever your why might be. Why in the hell would I ever gatekeep information so that you can't go have that life? I am exactly where I am today because people were generous enough to share their information with me, whether it was exes that, I dated somebody years ago and he gave me such powerful information that at the time it was so mind-blowing to me that now it seems very obvious. Like, like you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. I was like, what? Like nobody's ever said that to me before. Now I'm like, duh, that's common sense. But if he didn't share that information with me, I wouldn't have started thinking about like, who am I hanging out with and why does that matter? And so on and so forth. If my friend Dave didn't share all of his expertise about how to write a book, I wouldn't have written my book. And if he didn't share all of the ways that I could use that book to leverage who I am as a coach and mentor, I wouldn't have generated a multiple 6-figure business, which actually started when I launched my book. If I didn't see other people exit their teaching jobs and start businesses, if they didn't share with me some sort of strategy of how to have a business, I wouldn't be here. if I didn't meet Kayla and she didn't share with me, when I met Kayla, I had, this is not gatekeeping. This is like full transparency. I had a lot of credit card debt and I was really scared about it. And I didn't know who to talk to or what to say. I got myself trapped in the cycle of like putting everything on a credit card when I was overseas and living way beyond my means. And Kayla normalized that for me and gave me great information. She gave me some books that are on my bookshelf about how to not see debt as bad and how to get out of debt and how to start to get into the market and how to grow my money and so on and so forth. So I could go on and on and on about all of the people who have shared information. And this is so important because if you start to think about like, when you share something, how that could better somebody else, that know that universal laws are always at play. Karma is always at play. Law of oneness is always at play. Law of polarity, law of rhythm, they are always all at play. So when you go and you share that podcast that totally blew your mind, or you tag, when people tag My Line Purpose, like if they're like, I was on Coffee Cheers and they tag that to me shows me that A, they're not a gatekeeper. B, they believe in knowledge is power. C, they actually do really enjoy our work. D, karma is going to come back around and somebody is going to then go work with that person because they are saying, you know what, I'm not trying to withhold all this information. I like working with these people and now other people are going to like working with them. When you withhold information, whether it's something as simple as you listen to a podcast, but you don't want anybody to know the information that you learned in the podcast, or you read a book, but you're like, oh, I think I'll just keep this information to myself. Whether you work with a coach, this is where it happens, where coaches, I have so many friends in the coaching industry and the mentorship industry. And, a lot of them feel like, like what's going on? Like, why aren't my clients saying that they're working with me? Why are they, just saying like, I'm working with a coach? And it's like, they might not know that they're gatekeeping. And I don't know people's reasons for being like this. The only thing that I can summarize it down to is like, they might have their own fears. Maybe they're a coach as well, because the coaching industry is really tiered where it's almost like network marketing. Like I have a coach and then she has a coach and I coach people and they coach people. And so if I'm coaching somebody and they don't want to say that I'm their coach, but they love working with me. Like they send me messages and say like, I love today and that was awesome and blah, blah, but they're not like publicly sharing that information. And, some people don't want anybody to know that they're coach. There's that. But if they're sharing like, I work with my coach, but they're not saying who it is, my assumption of that gatekeeping or that withholding is maybe that they're not meaning it in an ill-informed way or in an unintentional way, but it could be because they have this fear that if they share that they're working with you and you're both coaches and they're trying to get clients, why wouldn't their client just go work with you? And simply like, that's just not how it works. I love, let me think of somebody. Amanda Francis. Okay. No surprise. I love Amanda Francis. Who doesn't? If I didn't share Amanda Francis's work, her courses, her podcast, her YouTube, because I was afraid that, well, people are not going to want to work with me and work with Amanda Francis, I don't believe in law of oneness then. I really don't believe in universal laws, because I don't believe that what's available for her is available for me. 2, you just have to know that everybody's at like a different step on the ladder. So who Amanda is attracting are people like me. I don't even know how to say that. Like, I like Amanda, and maybe some people are like, oh, she's too advanced in her money conversations and I'm not ready for that yet. Or I don't want to work with an American at the moment, or whatever it might be. Or they might be like, Nicole, I like you. I like the way you explain things. I like the way you distill information. Even though I might be taking information I've learned from Amanda Francis, maybe people aren't ready to work with her yet. So but that's not going to stop me from sharing her work, right? And so this is what I just really want everybody to consider. When you really enjoy something, why are you not sharing it? Or how can you share it? And how does it impact people when you do share? Colleen Nichols, who is the creator of No Shame Sales Game, we've had her here on the podcast before. She was a speaker in our VIP speaker series. Her and I are actually going to be going live together in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. She talks a lot about how if you are open and willing to share other people's work or other people's businesses, and this can be something as simple as I read Tunde's book and Speak, and it's amazing, and I absolutely love it. And I share that on my Instagram. Okay. People are like, and they go check out Tunde's book. They're like, okay, Nicole recommended this book. It's really great. I like it. Wow, she's got good recommendations. Cool. And then a couple of days later, I'm like, oh my gosh, you need to go to this ramen place. I know we all know that I love ramen. And I'm saying, okay, you need to go to this ramen place, go check it out, like the best karage chicken in your soup. It's to die for. And then all the local people in Victoria are like, okay, where's that restaurant? Do you ask for the karage chicken in the soup? Like, I don't understand. I don't see it on the menu. I'm like, okay, here's exactly what you do. You get the soup, you sub the karage chicken, you ask for the clear broth, da, 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 da. And then they come back and they're like, that was the fucking bomb.com. I can't wait to go back and get it again. Thank you for recommending. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. Okay. And then I go and I get my facial. This is going to be my last example. I go and get my facial and I'm like, everybody needs to go to Cold Water Skin Bar. Isabel is fantastic. I mean, I'm nearing 40 and can we just look at this skin? Like no makeup on, no filter. She is a wizard. You need to go see her. She's going to be a game changer for your skin. And then people are like, oh my gosh, I went to that esthetician that you mentioned and I got a medical grade facial and I look like I'm 30 again, not 40. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. You are building know, love, trust. This is what I've heard Colleen talk about, and I think it's so true. And I want to share it with you because I'm not about gatekeeping. And then after a few recommendations of other people's businesses, then I say, you know what? If you are wanting an extra stream of income, if you are wanting to start a podcast, if you're wanting to write a book, if you're wanting to create a course, if you are in a 9-to-5, but you have time and energy to build out a side business, if you are currently in network marketing, MLM, direct sales, and you want to take that to the next level, if you are a coach or a mentor and you want to learn how to grow your client base or go from working one-to-one to one-to-many, I highly recommend Align Business School. And do you know what's going to happen next? People are going to look into Align Business School because they trust what I'm saying. Because I've already sold the ramen, I've already sold the facial, and I've already sold, I can't even think of what the first business was that I was talking about. So there you go. I've already sold a few things. So now it's just a no-brainer if I'm going to go and talk about my own business, which you should be loud and proud about your own business, that people are like, you know what? I've liked everything else you've recommended. Oh, Tunde's book. People are like, I like the book. I like the facial. I like the ramen. So you know what? I'm probably going to like Align Business School because I vibe with what you're offering. Now, there's going to be people who are like, I don't want to read Tunde's book and I don't like ramen and I'm not into facials. So then, you know what? They might not be for Align Business School. That's okay. It's building know, love, trust with people and providing them with knowledge because knowledge is power. And saying, you know what, when you come work with us, when you come into My Align Purpose, we are going to show you exactly everything we know. Do we know everything? No. But will we show you everything we know? Yes. Does Kayla have like 15 years of fundraising, money, entrepreneur experience? Absolutely. Do I have 15 years experience in mindfulness, meditation, mindset, and education, course creation? Absolutely. Am I going to tell you everything I absolutely know about that? And is Kayla going to tell you everything you absolutely know? Yes. And over the past few years of growing this online business and learning so much, we also have now a lot of new knowledge. We have a lot of new power to provide to you. And I don't want to withhold this information. So then there's this fine line of, well, what is gate kept behind a paywall? So for example, we go live every Monday morning in Coffee Cheers and we say, cheers, it's Monday. What's in your mug? Tell us what you're drinking. How was your weekend? We're reading Tunde's book. Here's what's going on. We're going to shout out people in our community. Don't forget, we've got our retreat. We've got Align Business School, yada, yada, yada. That is all information that we are not gatekeeping. We are spilling it out there. We are just saying like, this is for you to have. Please take it, enjoy. We hope you love it. Come over to Instagram. You like our content over there. We're educational. We're informative. We're keeping it real. You want to learn some stuff from us on YouTube? Come watch some videos. You want to learn some stuff from us on the podcast? Listen to it. All that's free. You can have all the information. We're not withholding anything. Now, there is a difference between saying withholding and having a paywall. We ask that those of you who want to take it to the next level of business, the next level of mentorship, the next level of financial freedom, that you consider joining Align Business School and or then Platinum. It's not that we're gatekeeping the information that's in those programs. We're saying that we have a business to run and we need to know who's serious, who is ready to take in that information. Because if we openly shared what we share inside of Platinum or what we share inside of Align Business School to our broader community, like all that information, there'd be no skin in the game. Putting a price tag on stuff allows a little bit of skin in the game. We wouldn't have a business, so that would be unfortunate. And then we'd be providing very terrible business advice and coaching and mentoring because we would just say, give it all away for free and good luck paying your mortgage. And then lastly, people are at various stages of absorbing the knowledge is power information. So what I provide to you here on the podcast and what we provide to people on Instagram with our content, on Pinterest, on YouTube, in Coffee Chair. So when you go to myalignedpurpose.com/collective, we go live every Monday. That information we trust can be absorbed by any and many. And then we know that once people feel like, okay, you know what? I've got the confidence, I've got the belief, I've got the ideas. Nicole and Kayla have given me lots of information. I think I'm ready to invest and go to the next level. And then once you're on the inside of those programs, ask away. When you come into those programs, you can literally ask us anything and we will give you our honest answer. And if we don't know the answer, we will go above and beyond to figure it out for you. We are in our own masterminds. We are surrounded by multiple 6- and 7-figure, like authentic, amazing, heart-centered entrepreneurs who also don't gatekeep. What I love is we have a group chat. There's 5 of us. We're called the Fab Five. One's in Panama, one's in Mexico. 2 of us are here on Vancouver Island and one's Vancouver. We're all young. And like all of us are like, me and Kayla are probably the oldest, I think, and we're 36, 37. We're all in our early 30s, mid to early 30s. And one of them for sure is a multimillionaire. 2 are multiple, 3, 4, all of us are multiple 6 figures. And we show up and we're like, hey, this podcast, mind blowing. Go listen to it. Hey, I just started a podcast. Would you mind going listen to it, rating and reviewing it? Hey, we're going to write a book. What do you think about this subtitle for the title? There's no gatekeeping when you have friendships and colleagues and partnerships and coaches and mentors who want to see you succeed. And I can speak sincerely from my own heart. I want to see all women succeed. And I would like to say that I want to see all men succeed. I also want to see society do things a little bit different, where men start to see and believe in women in the same light that we know is possible for us. So right now I'm speaking solely to women because that's who our company works with. It's how I identify. It's what I know. And I do believe after reading Rachel Rodgers' book in May of 2021, was it 2021? Yeah, May of 2021, I read Rachel Rodgers' book, We Should All Be Millionaires. The day that it was launched on Audible, I was like, I'm fucking listening to this book. That woman blew my mind with the statistics of women and money. And at the time, our business was all about money and mindset. And now our business is all about money and mindset as an entrepreneur. And when I heard her talk about the statistics of how women are being withheld the information about money, how men primarily are gatekeeping how to make your money make money, how to make money, how to grow a business, I was like, no, I don't stand for this gatekeeping. I am going to be part of the solution. I am going to look back on my life and say, you know what? Every single woman who came into our community, I gave it my all. Any questions they had about mindset, anything anybody wanted to know about mindfulness, spirituality, plant medicine, how to create a course, anything that I know and I'm passionate about, you better believe I'm going to give you that information because I want this world to be a better place. I do. And if you don't want that, then we're not aligned, and that's okay. And people don't need to be in my world and I don't need to be in theirs. However, I do trust that every single woman that we've ever worked with in My Line Purpose, however it ended, whether it ended on a really high note or it ended on a like, hey, we don't hear from you anymore kind of note, I trust that every single woman who has come into our vortex is a woman who believes that knowledge is power. And I know we've worked with hundreds and hundreds of women over the last few years. And I believe there are hundreds and hundreds of women out there who are providing knowledge that is power. I don't believe that we've attracted gatekeepers. I don't believe that that we gatekeep. I don't believe that I know gatekeepers within our community. I believe that the gatekeeping is happening out in the broader world in the coaching, mentoring online space. And I hope that if you hear this and you see it happening, you can call that person out in a direct with love way. You can say like, hey, like, why are you withholding this information? Like, it would be really powerful if you shared what you knew. If you see somebody that used their podcast to get to multiple seven figures and they're like, oh, yeah, but I'm not going to tell you how to do it. Like, can they at least give you some hints of how you could work with them to get that information? But once again, I don't believe that people intentionally gatekeep in a harmful way. I believe that it comes from a fear of I'm not good enough. People won't want to work with me. What if I'm giving all my clients away? So this is the conversation I just want to bring to the forefront today. I've been really inspired by so many women lately. You know, just recently, I've been like really sharing and loving so much about all of the women that I personally look up to. And if you've missed it, or maybe you're new around here, people that I love, that I think everybody could be learning from and watching is Amanda Francis, is Catherine Zankino, who's Manifestation Babe, is Amy Tolsford, who goes by Rebel Nutrition, like Rachel Rogers, We Should All Be Millionaires. These, I would say, are my top 4 women that I'm like, yeah, what you're doing, the world needs to know about it. We need more work like this. And I hope and I trust that there's lots of women out there saying that about us, about My Line Purpose. Like, you want to start a business, you want a podcast to listen to, you want a place to go drink your coffee and be inspired on Monday morning. I trust that it's full circle and that all keeps going around. So if you listen to a podcast that you love, share it. If you see Instagram content that has moved you, that has inspired you, that has educated you in some way, share it. If you work with a coach or a mentor and they are moving things for you, they're not doing the work for you, they're not getting the results for you, but they're shifting things, they're sorting things and getting you into alignment, allowing you to see things in a different way, share their work. If you go and get a facial, you eat at a restaurant, or you read a book, share about it. Let people know who you are, what you like, what's inspiring you, what you're into these days. If you are a business owner, who you are is how you lead. That's what Brené Brown says. So let people know who you are as the business owner so that they can start to trust how you're going to lead them. Okay. I think that I'll wrap that here for today's episode of the podcast. Thank you for tuning in, for sticking around, for listening. This is my first go at video podcasting. As you all know, I've been doing audio for almost 3 years. So head on over to mylinepurpose.com/collective and come join us for coffee cheers on Monday mornings if you're not already a part of that epic community. Subscribe to the podcast over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can get subscribed. If you're not following us yet on Instagram, make sure to head over there, My Aligned Purpose. Same with TikTok. We're on TikTok. I'm still learning it, but you know, we're there. We've got a presence. And also, if you watched this, let me know if you would like more video podcasts. This is me being very open and honest and sharing what I know in a really unscripted way. Just last week, I shared with the women who are in our year-long container the back end of the podcast, and I was like, "This is really vulnerable. You're going to see all of our numbers, everything that we do. I want to give it to you because I want you to know how to start and grow and scale a podcast for your business." And so I screen shared and walked them through everything, every question they asked. I was like, "You got it. Here it is." And somebody asked me, "Do you plan out your podcast?" And I said, "Absolutely not. I do not read from a script." And this is, I hope, reassurance and proof to anybody who might come across this right now. There is no way in hell I could be reading from a script. It is just the thoughts and the ideas that are in my mind that I want to share. And over the weekend, I just, on social media and seeing coaches that are, you know, in a higher financial caliber, like more 7, 8 figure coaches, just talking about how they've got the answer and it's the only answer. And I just don't believe that to be true. So I just wanted to bring this conversation to the forefront today and remind you that whomever you love working with, wherever you love to go eat, whatever products you use, it never hurts to share that information. Knowledge is power. Mwah! Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to be home from Mexico. Don't forget to join us for our free week, which is coming up in just a couple weeks. Head on over to our website. Make sure you're on our email list so that you can get all that information. We are doing Master Your Magnetism, 5 days to unlock abundance. This is going to be how to look at your whole life. This is not just career. This is not just finances. This is like your partnerships, your health, your wealth, all of it. We're going to show you how to dial up your magnetism, and I'm going to do it with a tube of toothpaste because that's the imagery that came to my mind. And I can't wait to share everything that I personally know with all of you. And I know Kayla feels the same. And then, of course, the doors to Align Business School are open. And if you want to get in our live cohort, where we're going to be going live every single week for 8 weeks, then you're going to want to get signed up now. You can get started on the information. The doors are open. But you'll definitely want to get signed up by the 3rd week of February, because then we're going to kick it off, do our 8 weeks of live content with everybody. And we can't wait to have you. And just, once again, share everything about how to start a business, how to start a side hustle, how to optimize your already current business if it's not really making you tons of money yet. So we'll give all that information there. And then lastly, what I would love to share is that we have some spaces left at our retreat. We do have Miss Jackie McDonald coming back, Tapping Queen. We are flying her over or bringing her over, ferry actually, and having her at our retreat, which is happening Friday, May 26th, Saturday, May 27th, and Sunday, May 28th at the Brentwood Bay Resort here on Vancouver Island. You can get registered with just a deposit, and then we'll ask for you to pay the rest of your fee in April. So you've got a few months, but we do need you to put aside your deposit so we know who's coming, as there's limited spaces. If you are local and want to come to the retreat but not spend the night at the resort, then we can talk about what that looks like as well. Just send us a message. Okay, I'm going to sign off for now. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you have a glorious week. Let's head into February with open minds, open hearts, open inspiration, full of gratitude. And I can't wait to spend more time with all of you. Okay, chat soon.